Welcome back to Classic Firearms. I'm Brandon, and today we have Matt joining us.
What's up, everybody?
And a special military contract, Barrett.
Yep.
I'm excited for this video because the 50 cal is one of my favorite guns to shoot, like out there, period. It feels like you're in the middle of a mortar, which is really fun.
As someone who's been able to shoot a 50 a couple times, it is an experience. If you haven't done it, highly recommend it. Just the shockwave coming off of it, and I mean, it is a visceral experience.
And if you're on the East Coast in the fall with leaves on the ground, you set it on the ground to shoot it. It's so much fun. We're good. Maybe we can cut a clip in there showing that. However, we're gonna talk about this gun in particular, what you're getting here, some of the tech specs. So I guess we'll start with that first. So let's go ahead and cut over to that. So this thing overall has a 29-inch barrel, a huge compensator on the front. Not one, but two 10-round magazines with witness holes on the back, and a Leupold scope, the Mark V HD, I believe.
Mark V HD. Yeah, so this is a deployment kind of package, right? Made for a overseas military contract. Became available to us due to some delays in getting the approval license export licenses. And so, you can imagine this is how it would have been deployed for that foreign military group. It is got a 50 BMG, obviously. It's a long recoil action, so the barrel reciprocates backward and then unlocks from the bolt, where the bolt continues backwards and the barrel recoils forward. Very interesting design.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And then that barrel is a 1 in 15 twist rate, which is not something I see commonly, so that's new to me personally.
So Barrett's got a very interesting story. I think one of the things that's super cool about it is that Barrett was founded not by a gun designer. This was someone who did not have previous gun design experience. So Ronnie Barrett was a photographer, actually.
Oh.
And he saw a 50 BMG machine gun. Obviously, BMG stands for Browning Machine Gun, and the Ma Deuce and stuff, right? And so he saw a riverboat that had a 50 BMG rifle on it, machine gun on it, and said, there's no rifle that shoots this.
Yeah.
So he decided to design a 50 BMG rifle, which became the Barrett 82. And he patented that. He worked with a cut and die shop to create parts, and within about 4 months, he had his first prototype of the M82 Barrett, and that has continued on. Where within a fairly quick amount of time, it's been adopted by the CIA and then the Marine Corps, the military overall, and they have progressed their innovation and design. So this is the 107, which is a little bit different from the M82, but obviously this comes with some other cool accessories. It's got a titanium extendable bipod on the front, a titanium monopod on the back, so you can get a good level shooting position. I mean, it is a hefty beast at about 28.5 pounds.
Yeah, she's not exactly light.
But I tell you what, you are going to want some of that weight, because as much as it makes carrying it difficult, it definitely helps improving the recoil that you perceive when you are shooting it. And to be honest, it's not bad. There are several times where myself and Kaya and other people have shot this standing.
Yep.
And holding the weight up can be a little bit more of a challenge than the actual recoil of shooting it, because they're shooting it, the recoil actually kind of keeps the gun almost level, right? You're almost juggling the rifle.
And what's funny is we actually have a short where Jim Foreman is actually the Navy SEAL, if you guys didn't see that video, where he actually kind of comes down with it. So he gets it planted on his shoulder first and then comes down with it just as a little more security, which is always kind of an interesting method.
I feel like that's how most people I see shooting it offhand do, because you got the weight that's wanting to pull down. So you kind of start high, and as you bring it down and you get on target, you pull the trigger and the recoil kind of bounces it up, and you can come down on target, bounce it up, and you're kind of allowing the rifle to assist you with managing the weight, if that makes sense.
Well, and one final note on that before we dive in tip to butt here is that when you shoot this thing in concession, so you boom, 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 it kind of just does this in your shoulders. If you can consistently hold it up there, it just floats and does this. Really cool, no more than a 12 gauge kick, I would say, which is wild considering how big that bullet is. But let's go ahead and dive in from tip to butt here. We can do it in reverse if you want, but
butt first. Huh? I knew that.
And we'll talk about that muzzle brake. So first thing, it has what, 4-chamber muzzle brake, and it is huge.
Now, one thing that's really cool about this muzzle brake, you might not be able to see it on the camera too well. You can see that it's taller top to bottom than side to side because it's got locking flanges. So this is designed to accept a suppressor.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That just became a new thing on my bucket list. I hope you know that.
So there is a suppressor that is designed to work with the M107, and these are the locking lugs, basically, for securing the suppressor.
That's pretty cool. And then beyond that, you have that fluted barrel, which, I mean, it's a sniper. You're not going to be, unloading this thing hundreds of rounds at a time, so that's fine. That makes a lot of sense. I also noticed up in the Picatinny here, you have a rear sight back here. There's also looks like a flip-up sight. Oh, so right there, just like that. It literally springs up. Yeah. And then this one, you'd have to remove the scope, which is leveled and mounted from factory. Like it comes to you in the box like this.
That's right. Cool. Barrett's own mounting system, and then mounted from Barrett.
Yeah, really stinking cool. And then obviously we have the monopod, which is extendable, correct? So you can actually move it up and down, get it taller or shorter, which we won't necessarily do right here just because, it's massive enough. It's hard to keep on camera.
I also like that it's QD basically, right? So there's a quick detach pin here. So if you wanted to detach the bipod for some reason, just pull the pin, it comes right off, and you can return it back to mount super quick.
And I did also notice that there's a sling mount on this side, which will include B-roll of. That's actually mounted to the side of the rail with, of course, your Barrett tag on it, that letting you know they QC checked it. As we fall back, so you obviously have a full Picatinny rail. We talked about that scope, so we're going to head down. You have a mag release that is kind of like an AK style where...
It's a paddle release, yeah.
Yeah, and you do actually have to rock and lock this. So that tab goes up in. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. And then clicks in one more time. There we go, just like that. Kind of like an AK does, which is interesting and unique. Beyond that, we also have the trigger guard here, which is fully metal, which is always nice to see.
Yeah, integrated into the lower.
Now, let's give an example of a trigger pull. Before we do that, we'll move the magazine. And then we'll actually cock it off camera because it's hard to do from this angle. And just to show you guys, this thing is clear. We're not about to shoot a 50 in the building, which would be crazy. So I'm gonna show you the trigger pull, just me doing it myself and kind of what it feels like a little bit. So there's a little bit of take up. It's like a 2-stage trigger. It's smooth to get to that point. We have it off a safe. And then a little bit of take up, bang. Man, that's quite loud. I'm gonna do reset on it. I gotta get it off my shoulder. It's kind of heavy. All right, in 3, 2. A little bit of movement, and then kick, and bang. Actually a lot softer than I thought it was gonna be.
Well, let's test exactly how much trigger pull there is.
All right, I'll cock it.
All right, so just to point out here, guys, you can see that it's got an AR style grip and an AR style safety, although obviously much, much bigger. All right, so we're gonna put this on here.
And we will support it with our hands.
So the trigger is a little bit wider than this is typically expected, so let's... All right, so I got 5 pounds, 13.7 ounces. Let's
one more time.
Try that one more time. There we go. 5 pounds, 14.6 ounces. So pretty consistent.
At that 5 pound mark.
And, well, almost 6. I mean, 14.6 ounces.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, almost 6 pounds. But I'll tell you what, I mean, again, when you're thinking about the type of shooting you're going to do, it's going to be fairly deliberate shooting. And so, this is not a unworkable trigger pull.
No, absolutely. I would not necessarily want this thing with a light trigger, if I'm being completely honest. So
let's go ahead and get this thing snapped back into place. So you have a nice cheek rest here. Obviously, you want to be able to properly sight align, and so there is a cheek rest here.
That's
got
important.
A rear sling swivel back here. Again, that titanium monopod. So this is something that you can use if you're in a stationary position. Obviously, if you were going to be mobile, then you might not have time to adjust this, so this might be omitted. But overall, it is a phenomenal package. One of the things that's kind of interesting about this is that it does have a serialized upper as well as low. And so, of course, these are going to be factory matching, but you very rarely see uppers that are serialized. So I think it's an interesting fact.
Yeah, definitely interesting. It also comes with a certificate of authenticity, which I think we said before, but I want to reiterate that. I also want to show you one last thing. We're going to cut real quick. We're going to remove this from the table, bring up the case it comes with, because it actually comes with a Pelican case, which to me, that's my favorite piece. And it actually comes disassembled.
That's interesting. The favorite piece about having this rifle is the case.
Yes.
Tell you what, we'll split it. You have the case, I'll take the rifle.
That sounds good to me. All right, let's swap it. And here it is, Pelican 1750. Now, I know I said it's my favorite thing about the gun, but I genuinely love...
Peculiar, but...
I love it when a company gives you everything you need in the box. Now, it comes disassembled, so you actually have to put it together yourself when it comes out there. We did that off camera.
Let's put a caveat on that. It comes as separate upper and lower. You're not like
you're
not piecing the rifle together.
That's fair. But it is a little bit of work if you've never done it, and it is actually kind of fun. But you have your magazine slots here. It's cut out for the rifle, and then of course you also have your sunshade for your scope that you have.
It comes with the Otis cleaning kit. This is a little bit of a care package for your Leupold scope. So it says it's got a lens pen and looks like some maybe cleaning cloths and stuff. Also your user manual. Yeah, and of course, you know, everything will fit in here the way it comes. So the scope can stay mounted on the upper in the case. You don't have to remove it. You don't have to risk changing your zero. And then, you know, you've got a fantastic case to protect your investment.
Yes, because it is an investment, even though there is a current discount on these things.
That's right.
It still is a little expensive. So let's go ahead. I'm going to bring that rifle back up here, and we'll close the video out. And do you have any other notes for us?
Yeah, so when you talked about the discount, just to mention, if you are watching this as the video comes out, so of course, you know, take it as a caveat if you're watching this and it looks like it's been up for a while. On our current inventory, there's been a manufacturer provided discount that's already included in the price. So there is a significant discount on that current stock.
And to close out, here's the gun. So with that being said, any other notes that you can think of about the rifle or anything about it?
No, I mean, again, just if you are interested in military rifles, shooting large calibers, very long distance shooting, this thing is capable of hitting things well in excess of like a mile away. You know, these are all reasons why a Barrett may be the right rifle for you. Like, you know, if this is a military issued platform, so if you like military stuff, this is good. If you like just shooting large caliber, big bore stuff, if you want to shoot out to very long distances, the M107 is a phenomenal platform to get into. I realize that a lot of people go, wow, what would you ever use it for? There's plenty of stuff that you could use it for.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say you could use it for hunting. That definitely is something. If you're very, very far distance, and okay, maybe not, but you might destroy whatever you're shooting at. But and they do call it an anti-material round. So.
And everything's made out of material.
So with that being said, that's pretty much everything we have for you guys today. If you have any experience with the 50 cal, please leave a review down below. We would love to see your comments. That is all I have for you today. God bless.
We'll see you next time.
It is time to end.
End.
Now I'm going to shoot this thing.